Two University of Missouri officials leave their jobs today. I'm Mark Slavitt. I'll tell you who they are.
President Tim Wolf's resignation sparked celebration among student protesters. I'm Garrett Bergquist. Hear why many students say their struggle is not over.
Mizzou head football coach Gary Pinkel told us why the Tigers made their decision as a team. I'm Rod Smith. I'll also tell you when they'll get back to the football field.
And we'll continue to find clear skies around the area this evening with a chilly start to your Tuesday morning. KRCG 13 Live at 6 starts right now.
Live from across mid-Missouri, this is KRCG 13 Live at 6.
The nation's attention focuses on the University of Missouri, where a tent city protest and football boycott lead to the resignation of the university system president.
And to promises from university curators to put a brighter spotlight on diversity. Good evening. Racial tensions on the MU campus have come to a head with the immediate resignation of university system president Tim Wolf.
And the announcement of a January 1st resignation of Columbia campus Chancellor R. Bowen Lofton. Our team coverage starts tonight with KRCG 13's Mark Slavitt. He focuses on the announcements from Wolf and Lofton, which came during a hastily called 6-hour-long Board of Curators meeting.
Well, Kermit and Megan, we began our day with the resignation of University of Missouri System President Tim Wolf, and we ended our day with MU Chancellor R. Bowen Lofton stepping down from his job. Now, Tim Wolf held back tears as he has announced his resignation. Wolf said he resigned after taking full responsibility for the alleged racial tensions on all 4 campuses. Wolf wants everyone to take his resignation as part of a healing process.
I'm resigning as president of the University of Missouri system. My motivation in making this decision comes from love. I love MU, Columbia, where I grew up, in the state of Missouri.
Well, later today, Chancellor R. Bowen Lofton announced he is stepping down from his job as of January 1st. Before he made his announcement, 9 deans from the University of Missouri-Columbia sent a letter to the Board of Curators asking them to fire Lofton. However, he will still remain within the university system.
I have decided today that I will transition from the role of Chancellor of the University of Missouri, effective the end of this year, and move into a new role where I will work with many people across the university and with the system to advance our research mission at the University of Missouri.
University of Missouri Board of Curators President Donald Cupp said university leaders will try to replace both Wolf and Lofton as soon as possible. Reporting live in Columbia, Mark Slavitt, KRCG 13.
News of Wolf's resignation sparked celebration among MU students who had demanded his removal.
That's right. Hundreds of students gathered on the Carnahan Quadrangle this morning while the curators met. KRCG 13's Garrett Bergquist was there when the word came down.
Well, several students echoed protesters' assertions that Wolf's resignation is a start but doesn't solve the university's problems. Celebrations broke out on the Carnahan Quad when word came down around 10:30 that Wolf was stepping down. They continued into early afternoon. Several black students say they feel isolated on the MU campus. One student says white students need to do a better job of seeing her as just another person.
And know that we're people just like you are. The only thing that's different is I'm black and you're white, but we're here for the same goal. We're here to accomplish the same thing. We're all here to get an education. We all got in, we're all here.
Now, another student didn't want to go on camera. He said if a protest like this needed to happen, he's glad it happened at MU. He says this can make MU a leader on race issues. Live in Columbia, Garrett Bergquist, KRCG 13.
Garrett, thank you. The resignation prompted swift reaction from the state capitol. Governor Jay Nixon issued a statement saying Wolf's decision to step down was, quote, a necessary step toward healing and reconciliation on the University of Missouri campus. Secretary of State Jason Kander wants the Concerned Student 1950 movement to be a starting point for a continuing dialogue. He said, quote, the university cannot wait to take action to ensure black students have the same opportunities to succeed as white students. Speaking for the House Black Caucus, Kansas City Representative Brandon Ellington said the resignation demonstrates that leaders who ignore justice or cling to the status quo do so at their own peril. And House Assistant Minority Leader Gail McCann-Beatty said university curators must not repeat the mistake of inaction and indifference. And from Washington, U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill expressed confidence that MU will work to create a stronger community of acceptance and equality. The hunger strike by MU student Jonathan Butler came to an end moments after Tim Wolf announced his resignation.
We continue tonight's team coverage with Courtney Joden.
Thousands of students gathered at Traditions Plaza on Mizzou's campus at 1 this afternoon to hear the original 11 members of the Concerned Student 1950 group to address the media and community after Wolf's resignation. The 11 students, including Jonathan Butler, a grad student who helped start the hunger strike, says Wolf's resignation is a glimmer of hope and just the beginning. The group says they demand an immediate meeting with the Board of Curators, Faculty Council, and Missouri Governor Jay Nixon to discuss shared governance and create a system of realistic inclusion for all constituents. Members say their demands must be met to get healing. Marshall Allen, who was a part of the Concerned Student 1950 group, says they will not rest until they have full shared governance within the system. Butler, who participated in an 8-day personal full-on hunger strike, has continued eating again. He says their cries for change shouldn't have taken this long and made it to this extent.
It was everybody who chose to stand up in this time who made this possible. This was not Jonathan Butler. This was the Mizzou community, for one of the first times that I've ever seen stand together united.
A spokesperson for Concerned Student 1950 group, Candace Head, says Butler did go to the hospital today to get a checkup. He is doing okay, doing the best he can, but it's going to be taking some time for him to get full-on nourishment. Live in Columbia, Courtney Joden, KRCG 13.
Now, a significant development in the Tim Wolf story was the decision over the weekend of the Mizzou football players to boycott football activities until Wolf left office.
The national spotlight that decision put on the situation, it may have been the tipping point. We go live now to KRCG 13 Sports Director Rod Smith for more.
Megan and Kermit, the Missouri football Tigers will indeed play this Saturday night in Kansas City. The BYU game is on as scheduled. It was in jeopardy over the weekend when the Tiger football players decided to join in the protest and discontinue all football activities. Coach Gary Pinkel spoke today here at the Missouri Athletics Training Complex and told us about a team meeting that the Tigers had yesterday.
I'm sure that some players said, I don't know if I really agree with missing a game for this, but we're a team and we're a family, and I get and I feel what those guys are feeling, and I'm going to support them. So to sit there and say, everybody raised their hand and said, I'm in, they certainly did. But at the end of the day, certainly there were some players that just went along with it, most likely, because it was their football team and their family, and they were going to support them.
The Tiger players decided not to speak to the media today. Pinkel told us it was their choice. They didn't practice yesterday. They will return to the practice field as normal tomorrow in preparation for that BYU game on Saturday. In Columbia, Rod Smith, KRCG 13 Sports.
The resignations today follow months of controversy triggered by a series of racially charged incidents.
KRCG 13's Ashley Zavala is on the campus now to review the timeline. Ashley?
See you, so hopefully, yeah, I can hear. Kermit and Megan, the University of Missouri system, Tim Wolf's resignation, as well as Chancellor R. Bowen Lofton's, comes after a long series of events in a short amount of time. To recap, in September, student body president Peyton Head was hurled with racial slurs as he was walking on campus. Later, in the beginning of October, members of the Legions of Black Collegians were rehearsing a homecoming skit when they were hurled with racial slurs by a young man walking by. A few days later, on October 10th, concerned student 1950 blocked Wolf's car during the homecoming parade. Members chanted and tried to talk to Wolf, but they were shooed away by police. On October 21st, that same student group asked Wolf to apologize. A week later, a swastika made of feces was smeared on a dorm bathroom wall. The student group met with Wolf but was still not satisfied in late October. That resulted in Jonathan Butler refusing to eat until Wolf resigned. 5 days into that hunger strike, Mizzou football players pledged to not participate in activities until Butler ate and Lofton stepped down. The next morning, head coach Gary Pinkel told his players they had his support, and just 24 hours later, Wolf resigned, followed by Chancellor R. Bowen Lofton's resignation this evening. The student group concerned Student 1950 says they'd probably like to see more added to that timeline, including meetings with Governor Jay Nixon and the Board of Curators. Reporting live in Columbia, Ashley Zavala, KRCG 13.
Today's developments on the MU campus may have been rooted in the protests a year ago in Ferguson, Missouri.
Now the police force there works to change their policing tactics. What that means coming up on KRCG 13 live at 6.
This morning, temperatures below average this afternoon, a couple degrees above the average. We are going to find warmer temperatures over the next few days, plus a chance at severe weather towards the middle of the week. I've got the answers for you when KRCG 13 live at 6 continues.
And now, your KRCG 13 Weather Authority forecast.
Clear skies around the area this evening. Temperatures are going to be on the cool side. If you're stepping out for dinner, you'll want the jacket, maybe even a little bit of a coat. Winds, not really a problem tonight out of the southeast, around 5 miles per hour, but it will be on the cold side. Tomorrow, looking for the low to mid 30s once again. Our next storm, that's going to arrive on Wednesday. Severe weather, a possibility on Wednesday. It will be a windy Wednesday as a cold front and storm system eject out of the southwest up through the high plains. Windy on the backside of this system, too, and we'll find a chance for all severe weather modes. All modes of severe weather will be possible on Wednesday across the Central Plains. Here's where that storm system is currently located. It's off the coast of California. Showers, even some snow through the high elevations of the Sierra Nevadas. That storm system continues. It's somewhat of a southwesterly or southeasterly track down through the Four Corners before it ejects out here through the Central Plains. Here's what it looks like in the hour-by-hour forecast. We're quiet through Tuesday, and then by Wednesday midday, we'll find that front approaching. Showers and thunderstorms, severe weather will be possible for the afternoon and evening hours on your Wednesday. So if you've got travel plans, something to keep in mind on the conditions for Wednesday afternoon. Right now, quiet skies across Jefferson City. A live look on our Scruggs lumber camera. Temperature right now, 48 degrees. Winds light out of the south to southeast at 3 miles per hour. Dry air overhead, that dew point down in the lower 30s. Overall temperatures 40s and 50s here at 6 o'clock. Cooler down in Rolla at the Vichy area. We're at 42 degrees. Herman at 45. Warmer for Fulton at 49. Then we come up to 54 degrees currently in Columbia. As far as clouds, we have not had much in the way of cloud cover today. Just a few thin clouds reported down around the lake area. Otherwise, cloud free, so we are rain free. That will continue for at least another 24 hours. Here is the hour-by-hour forecast overnight through tomorrow morning. Not a whole lot there. Light south to southeast winds. So start your day off on Tuesday. South winds continue for your Tuesday afternoon with an abundant amount of sunshine. Just a few thin clouds here and there overall. Nothing but sunshine. Tuesday night into Wednesday, clouds will be on the increase. We might find a few sprinkles across the western part of the state early on Wednesday morning, but we do have the dry air in place, so it's going to have to overcome that dry air before it gets to the ground. But notice what happens as we go to your Wednesday afternoon. Those showers and thunderstorms start developing. They'll start impacting us that late afternoon into the early evening time frame. And again, some brief periods of heavy rain will be possible. Damaging winds are going to be the main threat with this. Some large hail also possible. And it looks like with the storm system passing fairly close to us, tornadoes are also going to be a possibility. So all modes of severe weather possible across pretty much the entire state as we get into your Wednesday. So tomorrow morning, we're looking for the low to mid-30s, clear and cold. By the afternoon, sunshine, mild. We're looking at highs back into the mid to upper 60s. A little warmer for your Wednesday. High temperatures will climb close to 70 degrees on Veterans Day. But again, that chance for showers and thunderstorms. A little cooler on the backside, sunshine and dry for your Thursday and Friday. And then temperatures will return close to 60 degrees by the weekend.
Not too bad if we can get past Wednesday.
Just got to get past Wednesday.
All right. The MU campus is not the only place where racial tension has led to change.
When we continue on KRCG 13 live at 6, the latest on policing in Ferguson, Missouri. In Ferguson, Missouri, the racial tensions that exploded last year following the killing of Michael Brown exposed a long-standing lack of trust for the police department.
Now there is a new effort to improve policing in that North St. Louis County community.
We have embraced this challenge that has vexed not just St. Louis, but our country.
It takes years. It does.
Peter Belmio is a consultant hired to work with the city of Ferguson. He has done this work in larger cities with even larger problems and says Ferguson is ready for a change.
We can solve crime problems and order maintenance problems and neighborhood problems very early on by doing prevention.
Right now, this is action. This is about making plans of action and putting action into place.
A public meeting over the weekend focused on community policing. Belmio says officers must get a lot closer to the public they serve. And it's more than getting rid of the military hardware, more even than just walking a beat. Police will undergo training before being assigned to work with residents and businesses in specific areas of the city.
I do think the police need to do more, and I do think the community needs to do more.
This was the first of 5 meetings scheduled on the subject.
It takes building trust, but building trust also means sitting at the table and working on real-world problems.
Now, Ferguson this year also set up a task force to design a citizens review board. The city now is getting feedback on the task force recommendations for the structure and the function of that board. A threatened boycott of football games and practice at MU disappears with the resignation of the university president.
Now the Tigers refocus on preparations for playing BYU. Rod Smith has sports when we return.
Welcome back to the Missouri Athletics Training Complex right across the street from Faurot Field. Let me tell you, this has been a strange Tiger football season. You know, with Matty Mock, the quarterback, being suspended not once but twice for the whole season now. We thought that was a big story. And then now this, a huge story. Normally, Mondays are Mizzou media days, and we get to talk to the players and coaches before the games on Saturday. Well, there will be a game on Saturday. That news came out this morning, and finally, media day, it was nothing normal at all. A big crowd, lots of cameras, more than I've ever seen at a Mizzou media day, and a lot of media from all over the nation. The players, they decided not to speak to the media today. Gary Pinkel, the head football coach at Mizzou, said it was their choice. As for Coach Pinkel and athletic director Mack Rhodes, they had no idea how this story would play out.
I think these are very unusual circumstances, and I've been doing this a long time, and I've been a part of nothing like this, and feel that we did the right thing without question.
You know, again, as I mentioned, moving forward, we certainly do not believe that this is the ideal way to solve even maybe extraordinary issues, and those are things that we're going to talk about with our student athletes.
Almost lost in the story, Missouri's football team. They will get back to practice tomorrow. The Tigers did not practice yesterday. They've lost 4 straight games, just 4-5 this season. They have to be getting more national attention than any other 4-5 team in the history of college football. They need 2 wins in their last 3 games to become bowl eligible. And again, the Tigers will play at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City this Saturday night against Brigham Young. By the way, the Missouri home game, the last one, November 21st on Saturday, the last home game against Tennessee, that is now a 6:15 start time. Just giving us that information today, and that will be aired on ESPN2. How about some Missouri basketball coming up? The Tiger women will play another exhibition tonight at Mizzou Arena against Quincy University. The Tigers had no trouble in their exhibition opener last Wednesday. They will begin the regular season against Missouri State down in Springfield on Friday, while the Tiger men, they will also open on Friday on the home court against Wofford. And a lot of other sports news that we don't want to forget about. Great performances by our cross-country teams in high school at the state cross-country championships over the weekend. Congratulations to the Fatima Lady Comets, state champs for a 3rd straight year. Fatima boys also finishing with the trophy in 4th place. Helias girls picked up a 4th place. Rockbridge boys and Salisbury girls also 4th place finishes. Helias soccer is in the Final Four. They will play in St. Louis this coming week. Congratulations to Michael Metzger's team. And, of course, 3 high school football teams in the state playoffs still alive. Blair Oaks and Centralia play on Saturday, and the Battle Spartans play on Friday night. So a lot of sports going on, but, of course, Mizzou football is the biggest story of all. Kermit and Megan?
All right, Rod. Thank you very much.
Zach will have a final check of our forecast next.
Chilly tomorrow morning. Temperatures back in the low to mid 30s. Sunshine, 66 for the afternoon. Showers, thunderstorms on your Wednesday. Severe weather will be a possibility. We're cooler behind that, back in the 50s.
And that's our report. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you right back here at 10. Have a great night.